Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How's my favorite bunny?
He's good. Getting ready for the year of the rabbit.
So beautiful. I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah, Year of the Water Rabbit. We are excited about this.
Mm.
Coming up in a couple weeks. I think it starts on January 22nd, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. I love
yeah, we
some
need
Chinese New Year.
cheerful and hopeful, and that's what the year's supposed to be. So we're ready for it.
Yeah, definitely. Woo, we could use it. So we're talking about history today.
What's
And
that?
definitely one of my least favorite topics when I was in high school. Were you a history buff person? Some people really like learning
I
those things.
really, I wasn't really into it, but then when I started doing the ghost hunting, I started
Hmm.
to get into it because whenever you went to a location, you would do the research so that maybe you could figure out, trigger words and things that you could do to help communicate and learning the history in real time, being on the in the place or on the property, really piqued my interest more than ever. So I kind of like it in that sense.
That's really cool. I never thought of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always interested when there's something I'm interested in like that. Um, or the land or history in terms of indigenous has probably interested me more than people who are colonizing and conquistadors, people who were conquering land just bored me to tears. And
You
now
more
what
history.
yeah, I like more real history. Yeah. I mean, but if I were in school, I would prefer to do math any day over that.
Oof.
God, give me some numbers, man. At least they don't lie. They make sense. But the history, I just couldn't. Very, very, very boring. And from what I know now, in my opinion, and again, some people love it, you know. Um, and now what I know now is that lands were often conquered and colonized by incredibly boring people who had nothing going on. They had to take from humanity. It's a very real thing. And I'm like, oh my God, I knew all along.
Yeah.
I didn't know
and,
all along. I
and,
didn't
and
know
then the,
anything, but I just knew how I
no,
felt.
right. And then the stuff we're going to find out now is a lot of that was wrong,
Yeah.
and real history was destroyed. So we have a lot of relearning to do going forward.
I just heard recently too that we're going to be seeing probably pretty soon some different species that
Cool.
have been living here all along with us, which I'm like, that's just so fascinating. And I think it's so much more, people talk about aliens and ETs and things like that. And I really feel the more I'm going along this journey that it's really right here next to us. It's not something that's sort of going to blast in from a UFO. This is really military industrial complex stuff, an unidentified flying object and all this, I mean, it's very movie oriented. We've seen these kinds of
Mhm.
things. It's what we haven't seen that's going to come. And that's actually probably right here next to us that we didn't really quite see.
Sort of a little bit like the Men in Black, the very first one where he's getting orientated or oriented into the system, and they're showing various people that were from different star systems or whatever. And then you're like, oh, that explains my school teacher, and oh, that explains that person, slightly off.
Like you couldn't really see that it was right in front of your face.
Yeah.
And I think that's been such an interesting thing over the past 3 years of really realizing that there's been things that have been right in front of our face
Yeah, I remember
and we
Sylvia
couldn't see
Crown
them.
years ago, whether you believed her or not. She used to say straight out, yeah, there's grays in this audience right now.
I remember. So I had a friend who was really into Sylvia Brown.
Yeah.
I didn't know too much about her, but I know of her.
And
That's really cool.
it's interesting that she couldn't see past the next 100 years. And she
Hmm.
said that, I think that was a couple years before she passed. And I thought that was kind of a little unnerving. But then I was like, well, maybe she's not supposed to see beyond that because, like there's certain things that we're not supposed to know. And with that kind of ability, I don't think we are allowed to know. You know what I mean?
Especially for
And,
this time, because it was a
and then the
very,
future still is changeable based on events. So it's not set in concrete. So it's forever changing, so to speak. So maybe, you know, that was it, or maybe that's where her abilities ended. I don't know. It was kind of interesting.
fascinating.
And
Yeah.
then now this. So
Yeah. I mean, we're in this time now, and it's really wild. And I do think it's very, very special. And there's something happening that's quite extraordinary, whether you realize it or not. I think everybody knows it's a little bit different, and everybody's going to know a lot more very soon.
I mean, the history of everything, and not just, political history or the history of your country, but the history of medicine, the history of just, you know, even the Bible, stuff that we've been
The history of the germ theory versus the terrain theory,
oh
the
yeah,
history of all kinds of things that have been
yeah.
really
But
widely shoved under the carpet, so to speak, if not smothered in plain sight altogether,
we're only
shuffled.
allowed to know a certain amount. Don't think too much. Don't think outside the box, because you might find out something that, they don't want us to know. But it's all
Like,
been controlled.
yeah, God forbid you find out about your own self-healing ability. Whoa, nobody wants you to know that one.
How much money would they lose?
So much money. Yeah. Um,
I just keep thinking how many lives would be saved.
mhm. Well, my hope is that with what's going on right now, and there's just a tremendous amount of cleanup going on, and you'll start feeling it in your physical body.
Oh, I've been feeling it. And it's weird. It comes and goes. Like I've been trying to stay off the pain meds. So I did healing prayers on my knees and my back. And when I really, really concentrated on that, I could swear I was better. I was feeling better. I was able to walk and whatever. The last couple weeks, man, it's constant pain, constant pain. And I don't want to take the meds because I want to see and monitor. So I'm going to go back to the healing prayers again and try to work on it, and then do my own little test and see, if it's, how it works and how much more energy I need to put into it.
Wow, let me know how that goes. That's really amazing that you're doing that. And
Yeah,
it,
the Richard's, no, Praying Medic. Praying Medic is one of the Intel guys out there, and he actually has several different types of prayers, and he's helped people actually overcome a lot of things. It's amazing. When I didn't realize he did that, and I was doing that, and then along with Barbara's prayers. So I tried it that way, and it really did seem to make a difference. And then I slacked off, of course, and now I got to try again. And then also the whole thought that your body traps bad energies or there's blocks, and you need to clear those.
yeah, and I think, going back to our topic, which is history, which is so funny because these blocks, these things, these are like past traumas from wherever, whenever, this lifetime, other lifetimes, could just be this one. I mean, let's just work with what we've got right here. It's enough. And I'm having these weird memories coming up of just things that have happened in my life, um, difficulties that I've had, things that it's like almost like a life review is what's happening to me right now. A
The
history of
Bardo,
my life,
you're doing the Bardo.
I guess so. And it's just, what is that? What do you mean by
Well, that's what
Bardo?
Barbara was talking about. It's like when you pass
Oh, yes.
that 3 day period that they say that we could still come back or whatever, you sit down with, the powers that be, and you review your life and all the things that you did right, all the things you did wrong, and then you decide, do you want to come back right away? Do you want to wait? Do you want to, but it's like a 3-day period and you go through all that stuff. And she was saying that we can actually do that now here in the physical realm.
Yeah,
So
I'm
that,
doing it. That's
yeah, so that
definitely what I'm doing. It's
when we move
weird.
on to
And it's
next,
not
make
my
these
choice. I'm not sitting
no,
down trying to remember these things. They're popping into my
no,
consciousness and I'm like, wow. And then,
crazy dreams.
that too. Yeah.
I had a really weird one. Sort of like a matrixy type thing, and very strange.
Yep. It's great though. I mean, once I get through it, but there's a lot of emotion that comes along with it. And then sometimes I'm just so tired from crying. And then I just like take a nice long nap or sleep the whole night for a long time.
We're supposed to do that too. We're supposed to let the body rest. Listen to your body. Do what it's telling you.
Mhm.
These are physically and emotionally and energetically exhausting times.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And then you feel like you're not doing anything at the same time, which is also
Mm.
really weird dichotomy. Um, but yeah, I'm learning also that there's this dichotomy in life. We will always feel these different things. We will always feel bad and good, hot and cold, but it won't be the intensity with which we've had that, because the intensity of which we've had that has been something else operating here, which is going away. Thank God. Thanks to us, because we're starting to become more embodied and more of who we are. So, but yeah, it's pretty amazing. And I think I would have been so much more interested in history if I had known, you know, what we're about to discover. It would have been, I mean, this is exciting to me. I'd sit there and study it forever. I loved it. But everything we were taught was disempowering.
Mhm.
You're nothing. You were nothing. People were really poor. They didn't have anything.
With
They
the
went through
fear, buddy.
horrible times. They went through pandemics, went through just awful. And you're so lucky to have what you have now.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I felt growing up.
Well,
Sounds
that's the
familiar. Doesn't it all
yeah,
sound very familiar to what we're living today?
F motto, right? You will own nothing and be happy.
Because you're so lucky that you even get to breathe air.
Wow.
Yeah. And now it's like discovering that we're so much more than that. We're just
Mhm.
like, and that you're actually supposed to have fun. That's the one I'm having the hard time because I've always known it was true and it's like a dream come true. But it's like, can I really do it? Can I really do
Yeah,
it?
I feel guilty about having fun, right?
Yeah, I'm kind of in this weird place with that where I'm like struggling with the possibilities are endless and you're supposed to be free and you're supposed to have fun and none of this matters. Axel's like, catch up. Dude, I've been doing
Yeah.
this my whole life.
Right, buddy?
Axel's like, wow, finally they're discovering what it means to be a rabbit. Yeah.
Yeah. Klaus Schwab doesn't want to get his look of judgment. Trust me.
Oh, give it to him. Give it to him, Axel. Whoops, too late. Already done.
Yeah.
Well, hang in there and I'm gonna sleep a lot tonight. It's gonna be great. Upon Stephanie's advice.
Yeah. No, give yourself a break, take it easy, take in a little bit at a time. It's going to be overwhelming because it's going to be a lot that we're going to be discovering. And we're going to be
Mhm.
like, oh my God, how do we not know? Just breathe because we're all going through it together. I think a lot of it we're going to find out at the same time together too. So we have a
Mhm.
lot to discover as well. So, but
And
it'll be good.
yeah, and then we'll have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
So we'll carry on talking and
Yeah.
joining in and answering questions.
And he'll just be chilling out in the background.
He will be like not done resting because
Nope.
Axel's like not done resting.
No.
And I kind of love him for that, you know. I love him a lot for that. Well, until next time, have a great night. Bye,
Bye.
everybody.